We're here with kind of a surprise installment tonight. I wasn't exactly expecting to have a little more free time today, but I wound up having a free evening, and I felt like taking a little bit of a break from Dark Souls 3 today to um, go back and start a new game of the original Dark Souls. And just go through the beginning of this game for just on stream, just to do something a little bit different. It's not terribly different. It's more Dark Souls, uh, but these are games I enjoy streaming for the most part because I can actually give commentary without being annoying to everybody else around me. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna go ahead and start a new game on the original. So that's going to be. We're gonna have some fun. Alright, so I think we're going to pick. I know Dex weapons are a bit better in the first game, but I think I want to go with either a Pyromancer or a Knight, maybe. I think maybe the Knight, because I can get some basic miracles or pyromancies or whatever from pretty much the start. Don't have to waste any levels on I'm getting attunement up, but I'm also wondering if I should bother with magic at all. So probably either Knight of the Pyromancer. Well, I suppose the good thing about the advantage to the Pyromancer is that you start with I think 2 attunement slots. You've got a pretty decent starting weapon. You start with a pretty good spell. Your armor's all right. Your shield is not great, but you can get a replacement pretty quickly. You know what? I've never actually done a warrior run, so we're gonna go with a warrior. Now, a good question I was asking myself before I wanted to fire this up was, do I want to do a master key run or no? And I think I'm going to do. I think I might want to do a master key run, if only just to kind of show off some of the crazier stuff you have access to early on in the game with a master key. So I think we're going to do that. So let's build a character here. Store royalty. Knight starts with a broadsword, right? Longsword's a little more flexible, so I guess we'll do that. We'll just kind of go with a regular sword and board sort of layout, I guess, for right now. And you know what, if I do want to get into some pyromancy, then it's not a very big stat investment. Hang on a minute. Something's up on the street. There we go. Oh, it blacked out while I was, entering my name. That's weird. It didn't just stay on the screen there, but I think we'll just go ahead and I think this looks pretty good. Master Key can be pretty fun. Warrior seems like a good loadout. I don't think the armor is going to be too heavy for me. I got a good shield, got a pretty flexible weapon and a longsword. Right, so we're going to get started. Yes, start game with this character.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed.
No, I do really like this intro sequence because it is like the creation myth.
Land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons.
Now you're going to find out a lot more about the game world through the context clues in the item descriptions, and this will make a lot more sense as the game goes on.
Disparity, heat, and cold.
I think I like this intro sequence a lot more than the ones in the other two.
Of course.
Specifically because this actually gives you, like, background context as to sort of what is really going on and what the stakes are for your character. Even if they're not totally clear at first, it actually, like, you know, establishes some background. And I think that's pretty important for a game as complex as this. I also forgot how absolutely fantastic this this intro cutscene looks graphically. Now, it might just be because I'm playing this on Xbox One and the hardware is a bit nicer, but the pre-rendered graphics in this game were always really nice, even from release.
Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
You know, it does kind of bug me that they've never really explained anything about the furtive pygmy, even in like DLCs or later games or anything like that.
Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales.
So this is kind of showing you exactly what kind of badasses these people are. And if you're wondering, well, why are they showing us these people? Well, it's because these four, Gwyn, Nito, the Witch of Izalith, and Seath, who's going to be shown here in a second, are going to be the four major bosses of the game. So basically, you have to fight like the people who were badass enough to defeat the dragons at the beginning of recorded history. So, that's kind of an interesting setup.
The age of fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain.
And so what it's establishing here is that the first flame that started the Age of Fire is dying. Humans are turning into undead, you know. It's a problem. It's a bad time. The world is starting to die. And people are getting... you're doing me a heckin' concern.
Carriers of the accursed dark side.
But the reason I decided to come and play this tonight was because I spent some time with my dad a couple days ago, and I got to play some of this on the PS3. He's got it at his place, and it's just kind of led me to realize that I've sort of neglected this game. I haven't finished it in its entirety, but I have watched a couple Let's Plays of it. I kind of know the rest of the deal. But it is on my short list of to finish games, alongside Doom 2016, Alien Isolation, Witcher 3, which might never realistically happen because it's so fucking long.
They are locked
And this,
to await
I guess.
the end of the world.
So those are things you might actually see me play in the future on stream. No, here we are in a cell, and here we are starting as part of the, we're locked up in the undead asylum. It's basically where people just decided that we can't kill the undead, so we're just gonna get a huge building and we'll seal them all inside, and hopefully that'll just be able to deal with it for now. So we look pretty messed up. We're pretty zombified. So here we are, not looking so hot. And I do actually really like the signposting they do in the tutorial level for this game. So, you know, it tells you how to move your camera. The messages on the ground give you the tutorial sequence. A detail I missed the first time I played through this game was this giant demon walking around down here, being huge and scary. Somehow the first time I played through this game, it totally escaped me. Because I heard that stomping around and I'm like, what is that fucking noise? That is terrifying. And I thought it was the asylum demon up top. Turns out it's not. So what I especially like about this tutorial sequence is that it basically just says, yeah, no, we're going to give you the controls. The controls are pretty much the only tools you're going to need to survive. So, you get any controls, you get any weapons, we've shown you how everything works. Now, go get them, Tiger. Can't remember, is this open from the get-go, or... No, it does not open from the side. So if you look pretty closely, you can see our buddy the asylum demon up top there on the roof. And he's not happy. And the point of that sequence is to tell you that if you find yourself overwhelmed by an enemy, it is perfectly okay to bail. There is actually even a little message on the ground back there that I didn't take the time to read that says, it just says run. Alright, so now we've got our shield. Should probably be our most important item for most of the entire game. I think for this here is our longsword. So we'll just go ahead and equip that. So now that we've got a real weapon and a real shield, we can, deal with these guys a lot more easily. So you can see through the doorway here that there's a buddy here. It's the guy who let us out of our cell. And he looks like he got seriously fucked up. So... Ah, yes, I remember. That's the rusted iron ring. We cannot get that until much later. Eventually we will have the option to come back here to the Northern Undead Asylum. First, I'm going to go sit down at this bonfire. Just to kind of make sure that I spawn back here in case I screw up and get super extra murdered. So there's a boulder up there. I'm going to teaches you one of the first big lessons of Dark Souls, which is watch out for traps. Now we have access to this room, and our buddy Oscar here, I think his name is.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep.
So originally in the first version of the game, this guy here, Oscar, was supposed to be kind of your buddy that would show up throughout the game and help you out and kind of guide you through the world. But eventually they decided to go with this instead.
The fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
So he basically tells you, I'm pretty much dead. If you stick around, I'm gonna go hollow. And I'm gonna go hollow and attack you if you stick around, so don't stick around. And over here we get the tutorials for doing strong attacks and two-handing and all that good stuff. Doing like leaping attacks and all that good stuff. I do really like that the longsword here has it's got a nice straight sword move set. It's got a nice stab, which I actually appreciate quite a bit. All right, and so now we're gonna go fight a Asylum Demon. The trick here is that that plunging attack is going to automatically deal about half its health and damage. So Asylum Demon here, as a first boss to a game, can be pretty tricky. But if you fought this enemy type like a million times like I have, he's nothing. He's a big old bitch. But he hits like a train, so as an intro boss, he's actually really well designed. He teaches you a lot of the rules about the game, mostly that when it comes to bosses, they do not screw around. You gotta be super, super careful, all that good stuff. You know, learn to play defensively. Good job, go straight ahead. I love how the developers tell you good job when you succeed. Alright, so we get this little hillside up to sort of this graveyard that seems to have kind of fallen off into the rest of the world, and you can see just how secluded the Undead Asylum is. It is literally in the middle of a mountain range, on top of a mountain, in the middle of fucking nowhere. This was the sort of solution, I guess, to the undead problem, which was stick them somewhere so far away from everyone else that they can't do anything and hope that works. But this is the last we're going to see of the Asylum for a while. Because we're about to get taken on our real journey.
the ancient legends, it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I gotta say, I do really love this, the intro sequence for this game. It really sets the stage well for the kind of world you'll find yourself inhabiting very soon afterwards. So here we are now in Lordran proper, and probably the most important place in the entire game, Firelink Shrine. So now we can level up. So if I really wanted to, I could spend 2 of those levels to get my attunement up to 10 so that I could get a basic spell for later. Which I might do. I might do that later on in order to get access to... Actually, you know, it's probably better to do this earlier rather than later for the purposes of being able to get that attunement slot now, so I won't have to pay for it with a lot of expensive levels later. Alright, so now we're here with our friend the Crestfallen Knights.
What do we have here? You
Dude in
must be
chainmail.
a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well,
This guy's an
since you're
asshole,
here, let me help you out.
but he's
There
helpful.
are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go.
So he's kind of a dick, but he's actually a little helpful. He kind of tells you, you know, that what Oscar back at the asylum told you is only half true. So we got some humanity. And that's going to be our main item that we use to remove hollowing from ourselves. It's also our online play item. If you've been watching my DS3 stream, it's just like the Embers in Dark Souls 3. Only you can only use them at bonfires. We got some fire bombs over here. Good stuff. You know, I do love the way the original Firelink Shrine is laid out. Oh, and it even tells you how... I didn't even realize there was a dev message to Jester. So let's do a bow at a old haircut over here, over at Petrus, I think his name is.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Dude, why you gotta be like that? I know he can teach us miracles pretty early on. So if we want to do miracles, then that can be something that we have access to. But I think we're gonna go with pyromancy on this character here. If we get access to it by the time the episode's over. It takes a little while. There's quite a bit of fuckery you gotta kind of go through in order to get that. So there's some more items hanging out around in Firelink Shrine that I think I want to get before... I think I want to get before we move on to our first real zone, which is the Undead Burg. There's some stuff down in the graveyard over here. Some really, really cool items. But I actually think I'm going to want to see if I can't get access to... There's a morning star and a chest around here, and those will be very useful against the little skeletons hanging out down there. Alright, so we got a soul item here. I think, is the way to that chest over here, or is it... I actually wonder if there's a way to it at all from this side. I don't think there is. So I think I'm going to have to go up these stairs here and then drop down. Yep, there we go. So we got cracked red eye orbs. Those are going to be our PvP item to go invade other worlds. Get a morning star and a talisman. So if we did want to get a miracle, we now have a way to use it. And we have some homeward bones. So if we want to do a warp. I think there's something else in here as well. That would be Lloyd's talismans, which prevent Estus recovery within a limited area. Alright, so we got some skeletons who just spawned behind us. So I'm going to real quick just run back over this way and equip that Morning Star. So having a crushing weapon would be... Having a strike weapon would be really, really useful against Skeleman. Oh. Well. And there's my first death of the episode. Getting ganked by a skeleton 3 feet in front of... 3 feet in front of the Firelink fire. A little embarrassing, but, you know, we are kind of... We're kind of a huge bitch right now. Because we're a fresh off the boat Souls character, as it were. So we've gotten some of those items over there. As you saw, there were some more down in the graveyard. Basically means you have to run like hell if you want any chance of getting through them, getting them without dying horribly. So we have this Zweihander. I think the winged spear is up here. It sure as hell is. I know the binoculars are over there, but I am literally never, ever, ever going to use the binoculars for anything. So I'm going to run back towards the fire and hopefully just despawn these guys. Alright. So no skeleton men here for now, which is nice. We got some Got some cool items. We got a Spy Hunter, which is a big-ass two-handed sword that we won't be able to use for quite some time. But because we're doing a Master Key run, I'm going to have to do some neat little stuff here and show you guys all some of the crazy stuff you can do early on with access to the Master Key. So if you go down below Firelink Shrine here, this is where you can get access into New Londo Ruins, which we'll be seeing in just a second here. I'm going to send that elevator back up just for the sake of ease, in case I should very likely die on my... I'm probably going to need to make a couple of runs to get the stuff I want. But you got some basic bitch hollows around here. There's a few items. Actually, there are a couple of items. There's one item in here in particular that I really want to get. And that item would be a Firekeeper's Soul. And here you'll probably notice pretty soon on this big issue with Dark Souls 1. And that is that large bodies of water absolutely annihilate the frame rate. There's an item down here? No. There's not, but that guy is... He does magic weapons. So he's one of your, I think, 3 major weaponsmiths in the game. Blacksmiths. But he mostly does magic and that kind of stuff. So Transient Curse is an item we would need to, oh yep, there goes the frame rate. Transient Curse is an item we would need to traverse this area were we to actually be running it. But all I really need is to get an item down at the end of this little tunnel here. So basically those are ghosts that you can't interact with unless you have the Transient Curse on, or if you are cursed. Being cursed sucks because your health tops off at half. So the Transient Curse is the thing you'll want for that level, but this is a much later zone of the game. And now that I've got the one thing I want from here, for right now, we're just going to bail, and we're going to head off to everyone's favorite shortcut. This shortcut right here, accessible via the Master Key, allows you to bypass most of the game. This is the Valley of Drakes. If we go through that tunnel there, we can go straight into Blighttown through the back way, which, while tempting, is not something I actually want to do, because Blighttown If you thought New Londo had a bit of a frame rate issue there, you ain't seen nothing yet. Blighttown will give you a run for your money. So here's probably where we're gonna get murdered. You see right here, this is a blighted zombie dragon of sorts. There's some items here that we want. That being the chief among them, and that other shield being the second one. And now, unfortunately, that dragon is permanently awake. But the good news is we spawn right back at Firelink. And because I did send the elevator back up, it won't be terribly difficult to get back there in a reasonable period of time. So the big item we picked up here, if you were a character that can actually wield it with minimal faith investment, is Astor's Straight Sword. It's a really, really good magical weapon. It does 80 physical damage like a regular longsword, but also has just as much magic damage, and also does 120 miracle damage, which is like faith scaling damage. And it's an extremely good weapon for the early game, especially if you find the Twinkling Titanite that's laying around. But we can't use that, so we're not going to. More importantly, the shield that we got down there is extremely useful, especially for the early game. And that's the Dragon Crest shield, which gives us a bonus to defense against fire. It has like 85, it's a 100% physical damage reduction shield, like your heater shield, but it's got an 85% damage resistance to fire, which is incredibly useful. So we're gonna head back down the way we came. I think maybe equip the Homeward Bone here on our second item slot. So that we can just warp right out once we've gotten all the items we want from the Valley of the Drakes, before we can get started on where the real game begins. Now, as I said before, you know, those few items, plus a couple more I'm planning to go pick up over this way, are actually very useful for the early game, which is why a lot of people recommend a master key as you're beginning. Right, so that's a real big soul item. And what that guy does is spew out poison breath, which absolutely will fuck you up if you stand in it for too long. As you see, it damaged me a little bit, but I got off mostly unscathed. And over here we got a couple of drakes, who will absolutely fuck you up if they manage to hit you with their attacks, especially this early in the game. They have scary lightning breath. Run the fuck away is the solution. And I did not time that well. Over there is, I think it's the Brigand set, so I actually don't think we're gonna really need that right now. I think we're good for the time being. So what we can do now is, we'll take, you know, I don't even think we really need the bone at this point, but we will, we're gonna use that, we're gonna use all these soul items And because we're such a low level, this can actually add up to quite a bit. So you can get access to quite a bit of souls pretty early on in the game to kind of level yourself up a relatively decent amount. So our big milestone we want to hit right now is that strength of 16, and having a dex of 12 or 14 is probably very good for this point in the game. Cranking up endurance is probably, and vit is probably very good. Endurance is one of the most busted stats in the game because it's just, unlike in later games where vitality and endurance are separate stats, endurance boosts your equip load in its entire, and boosts your stamina and your equip load, so it's a really, really good stat. I think should probably be good for right now. And we should actually be able to level up one more time relatively soon here, after we finally start heading up to the, we'll head up to the Berg. So, you know, we got some basic soldiers up there. Oof. Yeah, you can see that that firebomb actually does a little bit of damage there. So we got another soul item. Alright, so we got those guys taken care of. And I think... So there is an item over there. It's also where a very interesting NPC merchant who will sell you boss armor will set up shop later, so I think we're going to want to try and make that jump. It's real tricky, and getting around this pillar here seems almost impossible because you kind of have to clip the geometry. And so we got a Ring of Sacrifice, which is an alright item. For those of you not familiar with Souls games, the Ring of Sacrifice allows you to die without losing your souls, but the ring breaks immediately after that happens. So basically it's kind of a one-time free pass on your on dying, to keep all your souls, your humanity, all that good stuff. So in a second here, I think we're going to be going up to the Undead Berg. Just wanted to check on the stream here real quick. Just gonna make sure I'm not missing anything here. Just doing a quick check of the audio. Just making sure everything's all right. Because I know the last couple of episodes I've had, there's been some audio issues. Especially with a lot of my voice fading in and out. So I think we're all set for right now. I think there's another soul item over here. Yep, another soul of a lost undead. I think those are 400 souls each. And we got yet another soul of a lost undead. I know I'm kind of breaking a cardinal rule of Dark Souls by doing the whole spending soul items when I don't really need them thing. For the most part, when you're playing this game and you have the soul items, you want to save them until you're just X amount of souls short from getting either you know, like an item or a level. So I think that's all of those guys. Got an item in here, another soul item, but we're gonna actually take a little detour and head down this path that I broke open. We've got yet another soul item, big one. Is there something else in here? There is. Another soul of a lost undead. I'm running into these things like they are candy. You'll notice they're throwing a lot of those flaily guys at you early on. And so that item is very much a trap. It's rubbish. It does nothing other than you can trade it in for an item later if you go back to the Undead Asylum with the crows. However, that's not really something we want to do until much later. And something we won't actually have the option to do until much later, either. So we've got ourselves another humanity, which is good. And now we're right back to where we started the area. So it's a nice little loop. Now, it looks like this is a jump you can make. It is not. And that is our good friend, the dragon. We'll be seeing him later. So I'm going to go moiterize the guy up here. Crossbow, buddy. So we can open up this door and get ourselves the wooden shield. So if you were a character that started without a shield or with a crappy shield, that's a pretty good early game alternative that you can get for basically free. We're going to be doing just a little more exploration before I love the little, like, kind of, it's almost a Spider-Man jump these guys do. So we got a guy down here behind these shelves. And this is where we'll come across our first merchant. This guy, who is absolutely insane.
Well, now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
He's an asshole and I love him. So the first thing we're going to want to do is absolutely get those essential items.
Thank you, kind.
So we've gotten the bottomless box, which is going to allow us to actually store our stuff at bonfires. We've got the residence key, which will open up a few houses with some secret items for us, and the Berg, which is good. You know what? I think I am going to put these on here so I don't have to keep. And we do want that item that costs 3,000. I don't think we can get there quite yet. But after we do, so we're going to want to come back once we've got another 1,500 souls, which might take a little while, but that's all right. These guys give you shit for souls, but it shouldn't take us too much longer to get to 3K. So we got ourselves throwing knives. Don't think we really need right now, but so this is how we can make that jump from earlier. So what we've got up here is a crappy item. Light crossbow and standard bullets. This thing sucks. Like, I'm gonna be straight with you. It's not good. But you know, that's okay that it's not good. It's allowed. It's a shitty light crossbow. So we've pretty much gotten all the items we can get down here in this area before the first bonfire, so we're gonna stop digging around and go light it now. So we've got right here. Alright, so now that we've gotten a bonfire, we're going to want to use a couple of humanity, and we're going to want to kindle this bonfire. This is a very important bonfire. This is a good one to boost up. Now, kindling a bonfire increases the number of Estus flasks you can use at it by 5, and then later by much more once you acquire the right of kindling, which is something you don't get until much later in the game. But now that we're human, we can see that I don't look fuck ugly anymore. Which is pretty alright. I look like me. Again, like I was at the character creation screen. Now we can throw some of the stuff that we don't need into the item box, like the red eye orbs and the rubbish. You store a sword, the straight sword hilt, Estox Vihunter, Morningstar wing spear, light crossbow, talisman. Pretty much all this stuff we're not really gonna need for the time being. So that's all in our box now. And if we wanted to, we could level up a little more. But I don't think I really want to right now, because we're trying to get that 1,500 souls for the weapon repair box. So we're just gonna chip away at these guys again. And we're already up to 2k, which is nice, but we're gonna need to move forward if we want to get some real souls. So as you can see up there, there's a bunch of dudes throwing fire bombs. If you're not careful, you could get hit by those. Unlikely, I believe. We'll get ourselves a nice, good old free real estate backstab kill. And so this little gate doesn't open from this side. You open it from the other side much later when you go down to the lower burg after beating some other bosses. Now if you'll notice, the humanity I've stored up is actually increasing. And that's because in this game, your kind of your soft humanity, what you're carrying on you, that you haven't used yet, will increase by 1 every X number of souls that you acquire. At the beginning of the game, it's relatively low. Probably the closest thing to like being forgiving, I guess, that the early game does. Oh, yikes. That was embarrassing. I promise we'll get to more exciting stuff in a little bit. The boss of the area is just up there. But as I said before, we're going to want to get that item from the merchant first. More fire bombs. Another soul item, and I think we're pretty much there. But we may as well just actually kill the enemies down here. So as you see, the residence key that we had earlier opened up this house. And what we got there was gold pine resin, which adds a lightning damage effect to our weapon, which is actually going to be super helpful against the boss. we got another fuckstick McShield spear over here. And now up top here, there's a crystal lizard. And we'll open up that door for later. 'Cause later we can go down there to try and get Havel's ring. By defeating Havel the Rock. But he's way too strong for us to try and fight right now. We've got actually quite a bit of souls on us. Trying to remember which barrel Crystal Lizard is in. There he is. So we got a large Titanite shard and some twinkling Titanite. So Titanite's going to be our, if you're not familiar with the game, Titanite's our weapon upgrade item. We can use at a blacksmith, or once we get the weapon and armor smith boxes, we can upgrade stuff ourselves except for special upgrades that require certain blacksmiths to use. So we're going to go head back, get that item from the merchant, and then I think maybe kill him. You know what? No, we're not going to kill the merchant. We're not really going to be doing dexterity weapons. Although it is the only way to get the Uji katana. It's a big old katana.
Oh, there you are. Still keeping your marbles all. Then go ahead. That never hurts to...
So we'll go back to key items, get the repair box. He's got a couple weapons here. He's got, you know, a club, a reinforced club, a little wooden shield, a leather shield, a heater shield like the one we had, some overall okay stuff, some arrows, and then he's got a set of chainmail armor. Basically like a whole set of armor there. And it's not bad. It's better than a lot of starting sets, but our starting set of armor is actually pretty solid. So we'll stick with this for right now. I'm going to see if there are any... I saw some summon signs a couple minutes ago when we were spawning over here. But you know what? That's well, now that we don't have that soul load to worry about, we can try going after our first real tough enemy in the game, which is a Black Knight. He's going to be down here guarding a ring. At the bottom of this staircase. We're going to see if I can get a sneak attack on him. Alright. So we did get one good hit in on him. That little hallway down there is absolutely a dead end. It is a drop off to death. So we're gonna go run over this way, because he'll follow us all the way back. And if we die, we'll be right here. And this isn't a bad spot to fight him. So the trick is to kind of get backstabs on him if at all possible, and use those opportunities to heal. So we're gonna summon a friend. Who hopefully spawns in any second now. Alright, and we got him. We got a Titanite chunk from that. So we're going to wave at our friend over here. And we're going to summon this guy as well. Because... Nine Estus flasks plus help from a friend should be plenty to beat the boss unless I fuck up. So the Black Knight was guarding an item down there, but we'll get that once our friend is spawned in. If our friend can spawn in. Which I think they will. Just a moment. Maybe not. Yep, summoning failed. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go fight the boss ourselves, which is fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. So the Black Knight was guarding an item down here, which is all right for the early game. It's the blue Tearstone ring. So we'll equip that. This is a solid set of armor for this stage of the game, or for like the early portion. It's relatively light, it's relatively durable. It's not crazy durable, but... So let's see, is there a summon sign up here? Try, no. There's not. So before we go any further, we're gonna climb up here and murder the fuck out of these two archer guys up here. That will take almost anybody else by surprise. Playing through the game for the first time. It's an extremely rotten trick. So here we go. It's the Taurus Demon. Ugh. If I'm not careful here, he can definitely push me off the side. Yep, and that gold pine resin made him very easy to beat. He's very weak to lightning. We got a humanity, a homeward bone, and 3,000 souls. Which is not an insubstantial amount. And over here, we meet probably the most iconic character in all of Dark Souls. It's our buddy Solaire.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
So what's interesting about Solaire, and it's something that I think is kind of weird that they don't bring into the later games, is that he's one of the few people that's actually like super jacked to be undead. Like this is actually something that's really cool for him, because now he's on like kind of a spirit quest of sorts.
Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment. The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined in a land brimming with hollows.
So he
Could that
is
really
how
be a
you
chance?
do,
So what do you say?
so talking to
Why
him,
not help one another on this lonely journey?
gives you the option to,
This pleases me greatly.
place your summon
Well then,
sign, because he gives you the White Sign Soapstone.
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are
Jolly
not the only ones
cooperation.
engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
So Solaire's a pretty cool
Oh,
guy.
Hello there. I will stay behind to gaze at the sun. The sun is
He's
a
so
wondrous
goofy.
body,
And he
like
just
a
wants to
magnificent
stare at the
fire.
sun and cook his
If
eyes in
only
his
I
helmet,
could be so
because he's a
grossly
goof.
Incandescent.
Grossly incandescent. Alright, so this door is locked. And if you recall from before, we had a dragon friend that was up here. And this is another one of those areas that has kind of a crap frame rate. So going up here and getting this close will trigger him to do another breath attack. Or not. Is he bugged? He's bugged. Oh wow. He waited a long time for that. And I just skipped over a majorly annoying part of this level. Totally by mistake. I think he might be bugged. But we get access to some cool items here now. We get the Soul of a Nameless Soldier and the Claymore, which is a really cool item. But what's important... And we've got a Titanite Shard. What's important is down here, further down these stairs, is a ladder that opens up a shortcut back to the other bonfire. But because we opened that one back up from before, we're going to sit down at this bonfire and we're going to kindle it. Because, honestly, why not? That just allowed us to skip a huge, annoying part, which is dealing with some poison rats and some guys under the bridge, and it's just really frustrating stuff. So now that we've got a moment to sit down at the bonfire, let's do some leveling. So we have enough for 3 levels right now. You can crack a soul item for another level. So let's do that. I think that's going to be enough. No, it's not quite enough. And let's see if that'll do it. Yeah, that'll get us another level. So we've got 4 levels here. More health isn't a bad thing. But I think we're going to want to just, for the time being, maybe go up a couple of... I think it's 1 dex we want to do and put the rest into endurance. I think 14 dex is kind of where we want to be for a good chunk of the game, if not most of the game. So we could also, now if we want to, use this claymore, which is a big, really, really cool greatsword. I'm a big fan of weapons like this, but it's may not be the most practical for this stage of the game. We'll see here in a second. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not doing much more for us than the regular longsword is right now, and it's a much faster. Oh, there's a random summon sign over here. We'll see if we can summon a friend to help us clear out this zone. And the Black Knight that's on top of this tower. We are actually like blazing through this game. It's been almost about an hour and 20 minutes, and we're already at this segment, which honestly, that was quite fast. But I think was honestly just kind of a fluke there with the whole the whole dragon thing, because he's supposed to breathe fire at you as soon as you get up those stairs. We'll summon this guy with a Zweihander and see what happens. Alright, so that bell ringing means that somebody else rang the first bell of awakening in another game. So, obviously, as you can see with the summon signs around by the bell ringing, people are still active in this game, which I like. Excuse me. Are you gonna summon this guy, or...? Nah, it doesn't look like it. We'll try this guy again. We'll see if we can get either one of them to, Yeah, it doesn't look like that's happening. But we'll... try some incredible balls on for size and, oof. We're gonna go run like a bitch back to the bonfire, because it's a much better place to fight him, and it's a much better place to die if we get sort of wrecked. Gah. Oh. That was a bad drink. Oh, and yeah, he got me. This guy's tough. So I don't think we're gonna try and fight him right now. Maybe later. Good news is, our souls are right here. I'm actually going to check on my equipment and see what is in need of repairs. That's kind of the one thing I don't like about in this game is the durability system. And that it's just something I don't really think belongs in it at all. So we got this interesting little area. Oof. So I think what I want to do here to deal with this this boar, this bad motherfucker, is I think throw some black fire bombs his way. Oh, man. Oof. Wow. That went south real fast. And those black fire bombs are gone. Oh. Damn, I didn't even kill the boar. What a freaking waste. The good news is we're getting close to a shortcut back to Firelink Shrine. So... Oh my god. These crossbow guys are just wrecking my whole day. I am not having a good time against these guys. It's got my souls back. Just gonna wait for Dix McGee and the Goon Squad. Are you not coming? Ugh. I forgot he had that attack. I cannot believe I cheesed that so hard. Ah, no drop. Oh well. So, we've got another little room over here with some more of these little swarmy guys. This is a room that if you run into it, you are just gonna get totally murdered. We got this cool little passage underneath the gate to the parish here. There's an item over here. I can't remember what it is, but I remember our Soul of a Lost Undead. Oh, there's an item down here I forgot. And it's worthless. Oh, that is important. I almost forgot about the mystery key. We're gonna need that later to unlock a little something something. I'm honestly a little surprised at how far we've gotten in just over 90 minutes. And we're already through a good chunk of the parish. So what this guy here is recommending is a sneak attack. And I fucked it up. And now this guy's going to be much tougher to fight because I screwed up a backstab. This is a Balder Knight. They are no joke. Let's get a Knight Shield. So they're pretty tough. They can deal a lot of damage, and they do a pretty sick, nasty parry attack. That gets a lot of people pretty good. Another one of you fucks. I really hate these spear guys, because in the early game your weapons are pretty insubstantial. And there's another Balder Knight, with a bigger shield this time. We're going to try and lure him out. Back over into this area. Titanite Shard. So we'll be able to use shards to upgrade our weaponry. Just a little bit here, as we're about to go see our main man in terms of weaponsmithing. But I better not forget to open up this shortcut first and grab that item over here. So we got the basement key. Pretty important for later. And over here we have the halberd, which is a cool weapon. Oh, we accidentally attracted the attention of a Balder Knight who is inside. This thing's pretty strong. So we got another shard. It's a much better two-handed weapon than it is a one-handed weapon, I will say. But we'll... It's kind of got the upsides of a spear and an axe. So this is a pretty strong weapon for this stage of the game. And before we go any further, we're going to go down here to this area. We're going to preemptively use another one of our humanity. I know I've been spending these kind of like crazy, but the bonfires I've been kindling have actually been pretty important to kindle. So we can kind of hear our old buddy here hammering away and hammering away. And so we've got this bonfire. This one is extremely important to kindle later on when we get to probably my least favorite area in the entire game, which is Sen's Fortress, also known as Sen's Funhouse. It's an extremely tough zone, but I think we're going to want to stick with the halberd for now. This is a pretty good weapon.
I'm on if you're a...
So we will first learn the gesture from him. This is Andre, and if you were watching my DS3 run, then you remember him as the same smith. So let's see, what do we want to upgrade? Do we want to stick with the halberd? Or do we want to go with a longsword? You know what? Let's go with the polearm. And let's buy another shard from him and reinforce that. So we will need 200, we'd need probably 2,400 more souls in order to get
Don't get yourself killed, neither.
those Titanite shards, in order to get the weapon up to +5. So that's pretty good for right now. We've only got the one large soul of a lost undead, so we'll come back a little bit later and pump this bad boy up a little more. Now you can kind of see by the fact that, you know, that I'm sort of staggering here because I'm hitting empty air. That's a weapon quality that axes have. And a halberd is an axe. It's an axe on the end of a very long stick, but it's an axe nonetheless. So we'll try two-handing for a little while here. Get backstab on there, and you can see having an upgraded weapon, our damage has substantially improved. It's good because now we're going to have to deal with this guy. Oof. That strong attack was a mistake. Yeah, this weapon does a lot of damage. And we got another shard. So we actually only need to buy 2 more shards now if we want to get this thing up to +5. But the other important thing that we have here is another Firekeeper's Soul. But the best part is this elevator. This elevator takes us actually all the way back down to the Firelink Shrine.
But I also... Here. No.
Thanks for the copper coin,
Oh my.
asshole.
Oh, I have to... So what would that... Very well.
So we're going to join our first covenant, the Way of Light. It's kind of the standard
Now,
religion
let me
of
share.
Lord Dran, I
Only
guess.
Their ultimate... My companions are Malay. She is... We are... An undead mission. Regretted, but... I'm afraid that...
No. So he's got some miracles if we were to do holy
Come
magic.
again. The-
But we don't really want to do that. So now we can come sit down back here. And why we have those Firekeeper souls is very, very important, because we can talk to the Keeper of the Fire to reinforce our Estus Flask so that it heals more HP.
Don't you? You'd better, unless you enjoy it.
So in just an hour and 40 minutes, we've already gotten to the Undead Parish, which is actually pretty impressive. It's kind of weird how fast I've been getting at this game. Means we might actually be able to get Pyromancy tonight, depending on how fast I can continue to go before I need to get to sleep. Oh wow, these guys are chumps now. So that guy over there is a channeler. He's an asshole. Because he also buffs these guys, in addition to using magical attacks. I think there's like 10 of these freaking guys here in this room. So now I can go fight him pretty much unopposed. Because we've managed to level up our weapon pretty substantially. We're actually pretty strong at this stage in the game. And so this area over here is what we needed the mystery key for. To let out this guy.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec, of Karim. I truly appreciate this, and I guarantee a reward. Only later.
So Lautrec's pretty cool. Unfortunately, we're probably going to kill him later.
I'm very sorry. I've just been...
We're probably going to kill him in a little bit because he's, he tries to kill the Firekeeper underneath Firelink Shrine later on. Spoiler alert, I know, but... So unless you kill him while he's at the Firelink Shrine first, you're not going to have a very good time. So now that we've got a buttload of souls, let's go back to Andre here and get ourselves some get ourselves a +5 weapon. I can't remember if he has any sets of armor.
Well,
either.
you need it.
Oh, yep, I need to buy those Titanite shards. Silly me. I think this is the highest I can take that for now. Yeah, I'm going to need the Ember. I'm going to need the large Ember in order to get my weapon up further. Although I do have large shards for it. So, the weapon and armor smith boxes, he does have...
Neither.
I don't know why I said that kind of like Yoda, but... we'll go with it. I think Large Soul Lost Undead should be able to get me to 2k. No. I'm gonna need to go and kill some more dudes. But first, let's take a little detour to this area here. As I mentioned earlier, this is Sen's fortress. We will not be able to go inside for quite some time. But there's a very good friend over here.
Forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly.
It's
I've
Siegmeyer.
landed up against a wall. Or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge. No matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So, here I sit, weighing my options, so to speak.
He's a good guy. We like Siegmeyer. But we won't be coming back to this area until much later. I think we are going to have a sit down, because I can probably get... my guess is I can get maybe about enough souls to get both of them for one more run through. So we got another shard, which is good. And now that I've gotten this up to basically a large shard territory, I should be able to That's the word I'm looking. Should be able to upgrade another weapon now, at least a little bit if I want, like the longsword, for example. Which is probably a good idea. Just to have a decent backup weapon. I'm killing Balder Knights in two. Oh, wow. Balder armor. I wonder if this will take me over my weight limit. Entirely possible. Oh, yeah. It makes me too fat to, That makes me too fat to keep going. Be wary of bleeding. I think that's all of them. Yeah, we're gonna get this guy over here again. And I think our easiest way to get that last 1,000 souls is we're gonna go kill Lautrec. As I said before, if you don't kill him before a certain point, he kills the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, and Firelink Shrine won't work until after you kill him again and get her soul back, etc., etc. We're not going to deal with that nonsense. We're not going to deal with any of that nonsense. So we're just going to come back here and hope he's down here. Yep, there he is. So, what you do to kill him pretty easily.
I am grateful to you.
Well, first accept the First accept the sunlight metal from him. Then what you want to do is point him towards this window and kick him twice, and he'll fall right off. He'll lose that 1,000 soul. He'll give you that 1,000 souls, and we're actually going to want to do the weird thing. And the weird thing is sorry about that. Stream went out for a second there again. But the weird thing I mentioned is reloading the game in order to go pick up the item he dropped, which is pretty important. It's a really, really, really good item. But 5 humanity and the Ring of Favor and Protection. Now, we're not gonna put that ring on. The Ring of Favor and Protection is very good for the reasons that it gives you extra health, extra stamina, and extra equip load, all of which are very powerful. But if you ever take it off, it breaks. And we're not going to want to do that until... we're probably not going to want to do that. So putting on the Ring of Favor and Protection is a pretty big commitment. So now that we've got 8 buttloads of souls... And because we keep picking up all these shards, we can try to, we can upgrade the longsword a little bit as well. For some reason we keep getting pretty lucky and the enemies here keep dropping, Titanite shards. So we've got our flasks at +2. Kindled the bonfire nearby to have 10. We're actually in pretty good shape. First things first. Buy that smith box, buy that armor box. We'll, reinforce that longsword. +1. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go make a run at, I'm gonna go make a run at the boss. Saw a handful of signs out here earlier. So we got ourselves another light crossbow. Pretty worthless, but... we'll try summoning some dudes to help us. Oh, hey, you again. My connection's... there we go. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I've gotten a message. Let's hope the stream doesn't crap out here while I take a look. Trade. Well, let's see what I've got. Well, unfortunately I don't have what he's looking for. Alright. Let's try and get someone else over here. Come on. Let's go up there and go fuck up the boss. Damn, son. So we got a couple of dudes. And that should make fighting this boss at least interesting. Oh, there's an item. I'll get the item after I've beaten the gargoyles. 'Cause screw it, right? Come on out, gentlemen. Alright, and time for next major boss. We've got the bell tower gargoyles. As you can see, this guy is no joke. Ugh. We got him. Thanks a lot, guys. Sorry I wasn't able to wave at you as you went out the door, but you did good. And now we have a buttload of souls. So we go up to ring the first bell of awakening. And so in just over 2 hours, we've already gotten through the first bell, which is pretty solid. We're cruising through this game. But to be fair, I can kind of do the at least up through here basically in my sleep by now.
Greeting, I am Oswald of Careem. The part thou art afraid cometh out to Thou art welcome. It is a...
We're going to switch around some gestures. We'll do a... Well, what is it? We'll do a shrug. And we'll do a joy. Not that that's really going to matter much, but... we did it. Alright, so we're going to go get that item we forgot to pick up earlier. And then we're going to head back over towards Andre. And we're going to head into Darkroot Garden. Sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to make it to the depths tonight before I have to, before I need to pack it in. So we will also...
What music needed?
we'll reinforce this. Oh, I didn't need to buy that many... Shoot. I didn't need to buy that many shards. That was silly of me.
Get yourself neither of...
But the good news is, I've now got 2 weapons at +5. And I still have a pretty solid roll. Pretty good, pretty alright dodge roll. Which is good. And we can level up here a couple of times. So let's get... We're going to screw around with pyromancy. I think we're just going to get our attunement up to here, so that we pretty much never have to touch it for the rest of the game. which is good. So let's use some of these souls to repair our armor. And now we get to probably what is the toughest segment of the early game, weirdly enough, which is a Titanite demon. It's a mini-boss. He's a real tough guy. But if you stay on his left side, make sure to dodge when he tries that jump attack. And don't screw it up like I just did. Ugh. So I'm honestly actually kind of surprised that I got him in one go. So now we can go level up some more. Oh, actually no we can't. We are barely unable to level up. So we'll just use this puppy over here. Get up our endurance some more. And now we're going to find ourselves in next area we need to tackle before we get to the depths. Dark Root Garden. So we got some trees. Blooming purple moss clump is very good because that helps you deal with toxic damage. These guys drop a lot of moss clumps, which help you get rid of poison, bleeding, other weapon effects like that. Good stuff all around. And so we've got a fancy looking gate over here that we can't get into until we unlock the crest of Artorias, which unfortunately costs 20,000 souls, so we're not going to do that. Instead we're going to open up this illusory wall and sit at and kindle this bonfire with the one humanity I have floating around. Being able to take on the next boss, the Moonlight Butterfly with 10 flasks, is a pretty good deal. Need 2,600 to level up. Should actually probably put some of this stuff away in the bottomless box. So another broken straight sword. Don't think I'm actually going to be using the claymore since I've decided we're going to go halberd. Do not need that crossbow. Don't really need the knight shield. There is an item in there, but we don't want to go down there yet because it will permanently trigger the 3 enemies inside that room for good. Instead, we are going to go over... Going to go over this way. And trigger a hidden area. In order to go get something that's very, very good for us. Green blossoms are a good item. They help us temporarily boost our stamina recovery. These guys actually deal a bit of damage. So we got a Soul of a Proud Knight. Then we have this asshole. He's big, he's tough, he's made out of rocks. His attacks do a lot of damage. And he has this incredibly frustrating ability that can reduce your movement speed. Like so. But when he dies, it comes right back, so you don't really have much to worry about. So we're going to head up here to go get that item we could see from the other side of the cliff in the garden. Although there is one more of those stone knights up here. We'll be able to take care of him pretty easily, I think. So there we have it. We got the wolf ring, which is very, very strong because it boosts our poise, which is basically the stat that determines how much damage we can take before we get staggered. Alright, so that's everything we can get over in this little shortcut area. So we're going to want to go back to this area that we came from. We'll need to fight this guy. And a couple more to go get. Just gonna grab all the items in this area. Oh, the stone guy actually dropped an item. Stone greatsword. That's pretty cool, but I don't think we want to use that. Partisan. So that's a spear that has kind of a side-swiping, slashing attack. Not quite as good as the halberd we've got now. So we're going to stick with this bad boy. And now for the fruits of our labor, we got the Elite Knight set. Oh, I'm in actually a little bit of trouble. So that's a really, really good set of armor I just picked up. Unfortunately, if I actually want to make proper use of it, I'm probably going to need to go get Havel's ring, which is a bit of a hike away. But I am going to need to go back in and cash in some souls, since I've got quite a bit. So we may as well go back towards Darkroot Basin anyway. We'll sit down, we'll level up. So we'll level up some vitality. Get some health. Yeah, luckily our weapon is super strong. Alright, so now we're going to want to go down here to grab some real freaking neato stuff. Oh, that's a crystal lizard. So, got some twinkling titanite, got some large shards, which is good for when I get the large ember. I'll be able to upgrade the halberd and the sword some more. But these puppies are maxed for the time being. There is a bonfire down here. There's also a black knight down here. Who I'm going to need to kill if I want to get to that bonfire. That bonfire is going to make this trip to and from Havel significantly easier. Alright, so we got him, and we got a blue titanite chunk, which I think upgrades magic weapons. Later on. But right now we're about to get a really, really good shield. Grasscrest shield. It's not 100% physical damage reduction, but it's pretty close. It's 95. And what it does is that it boosts your stamina recovery. So a lot of people who like to a lot of people who like to do two-handed builds will use that. So we'll kindle this bonfire. And the whole reason we're doing this is to go get Havel's ring so we can wear that elite knight armor set, because it is really, really cool. It's my favorite set of armor in the entire game, bar none. It's pretty much, it's the iconic set from the box. It's the set of armor that Oscar of Astora was wearing, the dude who got you out of your cell. It's really, really cool looking. There's a guy over here who's got the Gravelord sword, which is pretty sweet. Alright, what's up, Turok game? Let's go take out Havel. That thing at the bottom of the basin can come later. The thing at the bottom of the basin is a fucking Hydra. And, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I can't come here while I have a friend. Oh, no. Oh, well. I guess we're gonna go try to take on a Hydra. Wow, this guy is strong. My god, is he soloing that Hydra? Oh my god, this guy's insane. God, this is hilarious. All I wanted to do was fight Havel, but I'm just kind of accidentally soloing a Hydra. Oh my god. Dragon Scale and the Dust Crown Ring and 5,000 souls! Oh man, that's ridiculous. Oh, thanks, buddy. Hey, where are you going? Hey, buddy. I need you to go. Come on. Waving you goodbye. Come on. I wanna... No, dude. Oh, you dumb asshole. Come on. Guy, I just want to go fight Havel and then fight a boss. Well, we might just be going to fight the boss. I think I'm going to commit heresy and actually put on that ring of sacrifice, because... Fuck, I don't want to lose these souls. I guess this guy's gonna help me beat Moonlight Butterfly. Good lord. Why is this guy so strong? This is ridiculous. Is there an item over here I forgot to get? Totally is. Egg vermifuge. Oh boy, I'm gonna have so many souls. So I guess we're gonna go fight Moonlight Butterfly. My goal here is not to die. No! I cannot believe I managed to die on the Moonlight Butterfly. Well, at least I can level up. Well, that's embarrassing. But now I can go fight Haddle. Because I'm a son of a bitch with a master key. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. I almost had him too. Oof. I think the issue here is that my armor is not very good. Which is most of why I'm killing him to get this ring. But I need to fight more conservatively as well. That's my big problem here. Come on. Come at me, dude. That was unnecessarily ballsy. Oh. God. Alright, we'll give this asshole one more try. I know I can get him. Actually, before I do anything else, I'm going to... open up a shortcut to New Londo. I think I might need... that 100% physical resistance right now. After we beat Havel, we're gonna go try the Moonlight Butterfly again. And probably call it for the night after that. You're coming to me, asshole. Got him. And that, my friends, is how we get the most important ring in the game. Now we get to wear the Elite Knight set, which is far and away my favorite set of armor in the entire game. It looks so fucking cool, and I gotta go run to that bonfire before Crystal Rock Face Man over there decides to give me the Stone Cold Stunner. So... I'm gonna go sit and level up. We'll we'll actually up Dex a little bit, because this is a weapon that scales really well with both strength and dexterity. I think it's got better dex scaling at the moment. Yeah, it's got like C dex scaling. So now that weight limit basically doesn't matter for the rest of the game. Thank you, Havel. Your stupid fucking ring. Go ahead and try to tackle the butterfly. Alright, so we'll... Yes, be wary of bonfire. I should actually... use a humanity. Let's actually see. 20 plus 31. 65 plus 36. Okay. The fact that those guys are triggered now is a little bit annoying, but... So this So this summon makes the fight a lot easier. Let's see if there's any more up here. It doesn't look like it. Boss ahead. I'm gonna rate that message. And there we have it. Moonlight Butterfly is the dead. Thank you, Witch Beatrice. For that free humanity. At the top of this very, very tall tower, we get our next important items, which are first, Watchtower Basement Key, a Divine Ember, and a Homeward Bone. So let's bone on out of here. And let's head back to Andre. So you know what, before we do that, let's level up. Alright, so we're going to need a little bit more. That should do it for one more level. And I think we'll get up a strength. Alright, so we're going to go back to good old Andre, give him this ember. And then I think we're going to call it there for tonight. Will we return to this playthrough? Probably. I'm a big fan of this game. Obviously.
I've seen what might you. I could. Well.
Yep, you can have that divine
make a
ember.
fine decision.
So if I have a green Titanite shard, I can give these things divine. Don't believe we'll be able to get anything like that until later.
Don't get yourself killed.
Alright. I think that's where we're going to call it for tonight. Thanks once again, everybody, for dropping by and tuning into the stream, especially for this special episode. And we'll see you next time on Gurt Gets Hurt. We might be coming back to this playthrough, or we might be going back to DS3 and getting on with that. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.